Hello and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is my place on the internet to talk about all things crochet and knitting and craft related. My name is Ali and I live in Kent, which is in the very southeast of the UK, just southeast of London, and I live with my husband and my two daughters, our two daughters, and they're all downstairs because my two daughters have been homeschooling for the past 2 weeks. They both had COVID cases in their years at school. She starts to cough as she says that. I actually had a COVID test this week because I developed a cough and it came back negative. So don't worry, no COVID. They're just coming to the end of a 2-week isolation, so they couldn't even go out the house. So it's been quite difficult. But you know, we've made it fun. We've got through it. So Lilia will be back to school on Monday and Phoebe will be back on Tuesday, which is great for her because Monday's her birthday, so she's getting a day off school on her birthday. Well, she'll be homeschooling, but to her it's like a day off school, so she's delighted. Did I say that you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali? Because you can, and there's a group for this podcast on Ravelry called Little Drops of Wonderful, imaginatively. And all of the timestamps, if you want to jump around and find things, are underneath this video in the description box, along with all of the notes about things I talk about. It's worth reading them. It takes me ages to write them. You have to click the little chevron down button underneath the video and they'll all appear like magic. What else do I need to say at the beginning? Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend some crafty time with me. There are so many absolutely amazing things to watch on YouTube. I wish I had all day to just watch YouTube because I would never be bored. And thank you for choosing to spend a portion of your day with me when there's so much other stuff to watch. Better stuff, to be honest. So thank you for being here. It's Thursday. It's a very wintry day. I keep getting distracted looking out the window because I can just see across fields towards the forest in the distance. It's all yellow and red and brown, and there's a social club opposite, and in the week it's used as the local nursery. So they've obviously got the heating on because their condensation's coming out their boiler and in poofs of smoke like a steam train going through the land. It feels very wintry and lovely, and I'm very cosy up here, hiding from everybody up in my bedroom, filming a podcast and talking about the things I love. It's very nice. Got a cup of tea. I very rarely wear anything I've made on the podcast, but this is the As If tea, which is a pattern by Shay Johnson of Knit and Crochet. I'll stand up a bit to see if I'll take a swig of tea, stand up and show you. It's not going to be a very flattering way to show you it. I made it a bit longer than the pattern. Hang on. I made it a bit longer than the pattern so it stops just below my natural hip, rather than as a crop top, which the pattern is, because, 43 and lots of surgery on my stomach. Crop tops aren't going to happen. But I really love it. I probably won't wear it much, to be very honest, because it really itches me. The Aran yarn here, which is Triskelion yarns, I can't remember. I don't know how other podcasts remember so many details off the top of their heads. I'm absolutely shocking at it. But I know this is Triskelion yarns. I can't remember the colourway, but it's their Aran weight yarn. It's really lovely. No scratch on this at all. I'd definitely make another garment out of it. This is Banshee yarns and it's beautiful. I know the colour is Nightmare and I'm pretty sure that it's Suri alpaca, and I think that was my problem. It's alpaca. I have a real problem with it. It itches here. And this is a sensitive area, your décolletage. So I think that'll put me off wearing it because I feel a bit like, I'm aware of it. But I really love it and I love the colour, and I definitely, if I made a garment again, would go for a really nice blue because I know that I would wear blue. Yeah, and I need to make more garments. I really do. I want to be able to wear what I make. And I'm really happy with this, and it was a really good learning experience. It's a lovely pattern, and if you're better than me at knitting, it's a really quick one because it's Aran weight, and then you do the intarsia here you can do in a couple of different ways. And the pattern was excellent. It really talks you through everything. There's all different options, for telling you how to adjust it to get what you wanted. Anyway, that's a tangent. What we're actually going to be talking about today is some finished objects, works in progress. I've got an amigurumi book that I've been sent to show you, and it's the cutest amigurumi book I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why I'm looking around for it because I don't need to find it yet. I've got an exciting giveaway. I've got a couple of incoming bits, but I'm not going to dwell on incoming because I think I'll run out of time for all of that. Strictly Sock Along, I'm going to announce 4 more winners because I've had 2 more prize categories. Made it to Blackpool has happened, the Blackpool weekend, even though they didn't get to go to Blackpool because of COVID. And the first 10 was awarded, so we draw prizes after the first 10. So I've got 4 winners, I've already drawn them, so I'll be announcing those later. I'm going to talk about some books and stuff, and finally, at the end is the bit where I just ramble on about whatever I fancy. Bit of a life update today, I would say. I'm trying not to cough. I had a COVID test, did I tell you? Because the girls have been isolating off school, I developed a cough and my taste changed, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've got the COVID, the COVID. And I went and had a COVID test, which is the most surreal experience. It's really weird. It was like that bit at the end of E.T. when everyone's in like hazard suits and behind plastic and things. And it came back. It came back the next day. Like, it was literally within 15 hours I got the results and it was negative. So that's a bit of a relief that we don't have to isolate for longer. Okay, stop rambling. Let's get started. Finished objects. I have a few finished objects, although again, like last time, some of them kind of fall into the same category. I'll show you what I mean. Scrubbies, basically. I talked last time about making scrubbies which you can use for either the bath for your body or for washing your dishes. Washing your dishes, not dishes. And I will include the link to the pattern in the show notes underneath. It's a really simple pattern. You basically crochet a tube out of scrubby yarn, and then you just sew it together in a way that flattens it into a really nice poofy thick circle. The last ones I made in the last episode were made out of sparkly yarn, and then I had this, which a lovely viewer commented to let me know because I've lost the label, is Wendy wash knit for pots and pits. So I had a dark blue and a lighter blue, and out of one skein of each I've managed to get 3 scrubbies. By the way, if you notice any change in video quality throughout today's podcast, it's because I'm going to be messing about with the camera settings. I'm getting ready to film Vlogmas, which I will talk about at the end. And I'm trying to get to grips a bit more with how my camera works. So as I go through the podcast, I'm going to be changing the settings every now and then. It shouldn't affect it too much for you, but it gives me an opportunity to play about with the settings and work out a little bit more about my camera, which, you know, I should have probably done a long time ago. Yeah, so if you notice anything weird going on, that's why. It's me messing about with technology. Yeah, so I've made 6 scrubbies out of 2 balls of the Wendy wash knit, of which I don't have the label, and I had a little bit left over from each one. So with the little bit left over from the light blue, I just crocheted in back loop only a little rectangle, which I am going to put under the sink and use for washing pans and dishes. It's a perfect little thing for that. And I've got a little bit left from the dark blue, strangely less than I did for the light blue. So what I've done with that is I've started to knit another tube to make one of these, and then when I run out, I'm going to add just normal cotton, sew it together, and then what I'm hoping will happen is I'll have the top half scrubby yarn and the bottom half normal cotton, and I'll have like a thing for washing up. But I'll let you know how that goes, but that's my plan. So I'm really pleased with those. I love making them. It's a good way to use up the scrubby yarn that I had. It's a good way to use up cotton yarn if you've got it. And they make really good little gifts for people or for just using around the house, because it's nice, isn't it, when you're doing something boring like washing up. It's nice to have something that you've made and handmade, something that you know and that will last. I just love that feeling, and I always have a couple of these in the bathroom as well, because I even use them on my face very lightly, because they're a really good exfoliator. Then they're soft yet exfoliating. I have one more ball that I found. I didn't realise, I was very excited. I've got a white one, so I'm going to make some more white ones, more sparkly ones, sorry, in the white sparkle, because they kind of look a bit festive, don't they? And I might pop those in with a few little Christmas gifts. As well. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. I could hear footsteps, but I think it's just Phoebe moving around downstairs. My other finished object is an amigurumi. So I'm going to show you this now. I've got 2 amigurumis to show you, but after I've finished filming this podcast, I'm actually going to, because if I've put makeup on, I might as well film other things. I'm going to film a video all about amigurumi. I said in my last podcast it was something I wanted to do. So I got the kids to fish out all of the amigurumi that I've made them that they could find. And I tried to find as much as I could as well. And there's a lot that I don't have because they've been given as gifts, or I just don't. One thing has just completely gone missing. Quite spooky. And I just want to talk about my amigurumi, what I've made, the books I've used, why I do it, my favourite things, the first amigurumi I made, and I'm going to cover all of that. So actually my entire bedroom behind this camera is entirely covered in amigurumi. It's like there has been a crochet animal massacre and they're all just lying everywhere. So I'm filming that directly after this, so watch out for it, because that will probably be out not long after this podcast is out. Anyway, my next finished object is a penguin. And I've made this for a friend of mine as a gift. I've made a couple of these before for the girls, and I have to say this one, so I'll show you. I mean, it's adorable. This pattern is adorable, and I've made 3 of them now, so I can say that with authority. It is the Made by Penguin. Look at his little feet. It is the Made by Penguins penguin. Made by Penguins is a hand-dyed yarn brand, a British hand-dyed yarn brand, and the pattern is their kind of signature pattern, and it's designed for them by Lexin Stitches, whose name is, I want to say Alexandra Templeton, but I might be wrong. And it's lovely. She does lovely little crochet patterns. So I wanted to make this for a friend of mine. And they all have their own little personalities, don't they, when they're finished? There he or she is, I don't know, what my friend will decide. But this one, I think the coat just didn't fit. You knit the coat, you knit like the little bean-shaped body. You crochet the little bean-shaped body. And then you knit the coat and you kind of insert it. And I don't know if maybe I accidentally did 1 row too many in the coat, because it feels a bit looser. Not that, I mean, you can't tell, it's at the back. But yeah, I like things to be snug and tight and finished. But he is cute, isn't he? All just with cotton yarn. I like doing my amigurumi with cotton. And this is a free pattern. You can go onto the Made by Penguins website or via Ravelry, I think, and you can pick it up there. I had a copy which I picked up at a yarn fair. They had copies they were giving out if you bought yarn, and I couldn't find it, so I actually went onto their website, and you have to buy it, but you buy it for nothing. You put it in your cart and then you get the download. He's so cute. Little penguin. Brian, the Made by Penguins penguin. So that is my other finished object. Do I have any more? No, I have a question mark against one which I was hoping would be finished for today, but isn't, because I ran out of yarn and it hasn't arrived yet. It should arrive today. So I will go on to works in progress, because this item now falls into works in progress, and it is for Phoebe. I mentioned that it's her birthday. She will be 10 on Monday, and I always make my girls something handmade for their birthday, and they usually request what it is they want. And actually this year, for Lilia's 14th birthday, I gave her some shorty socks, because she loves shorty socks, and I didn't actually ask her what she wants, and she complained. She said that she hasn't got a crochet creature for her birthday, so I'm going to have to make an additional crochet creature this year. She's chosen what she wants, and I'll talk about that when I talk about the amigurumi book. But for Phoebe, she knew exactly what she wanted, and it's a pattern from this book by Meteor Books, Dinosaurs, Mammoths and More, Prehistoric Amigurumi. This is the cutest book. And it's got all kinds of cute little prehistoric and dinosaur related patterns in it. And some of them, I don't know if you can see that little guy there, but he's even got his own mini toy as well. So It's a really good fun book and really, really cute. And you get so many good pictures in these books. This is the one Lilia wants. It is, oh, I'm really bad at saying dinosaur names. Dan always laughs at me. Brad the Brachiosaurus. He's got a polo neck jumper. Look at him. We say polo neck jumper. You say in the States and other parts of the world turtleneck sweater. Sorry, that was a don't do accents. Stop doing accents. Polo neck jumper or turtleneck sweater. And I am making Peaches the Triceratops. Let me show you what Peaches should look like. She's supposed to be about 7 inches tall. There she is, Peaches the Triceratops. Phoebe chose the colours she wanted, which are sort of a pinky, dusty pink colour. And it's an Aran weight yarn, so she's a little bit bigger than 7 inches tall. And she's so much more adorable. I love her so much. She's pretty much done. So I have put a lot of time into sewing her all together. And the really good thing about this particular pattern is it tells you exactly where to sew things. So for the for the horn, for example, it says sew it between rows, I don't know, 7 and 9. So you know exactly where to place it. And amigurumi patterns don't always do that. They just say sew on the brow horns. But this one tells you exactly what rounds they should be between. And yes, I had to kind of work out where I wanted them in relation to the eyes and the spacing and where the middle was and so on. But it's really handy to have that guide for placement. And then look at her, focus, can you see she's got like, what would you call them, hooves, toenails, claws. You do little bobble stitches to make little claws. Oh, you can see it better on that one, look. Oh, he's so cute. And then she's got her little thing that goes along the tail, and then this is crab stitch that you do to decorate the edge of the frill there, and then she's got her little markings on the back. So the only thing I have to do to finish Peaches is her bottom feet. I ran out of yarn entirely, so I've ordered some more. I've got the cream, it was just the pink, so it's really a very small amount that I need. But that was fine, so I've ordered another ball of that. It should arrive today, and then at some point tomorrow I'll find an hour to just sit and get that done, and she'll be all ready for Phoebe for her birthday on Monday morning. I'll just plonk her on top of the pile of presents and she will be absolutely thrilled. I'm really, really pleased with her. The yarn is Drops. What is the yarn? She's been living, she can't live anymore because she's too big, but when she was in pieces, she was living in my beautiful Betsy Makes winter bag. This is the first project bag I ever bought. Can you see that it says Betsy Makes there? It's lovely, wintry, but all through winter. So it's not Christmassy, it's wintry, which is what I really wanted. So it's been living in here. I have been using a 3.5mm hook with Drops Paris, which is an Aran weight yarn. So that's quite a small hook for quite a thick yarn. I could have gone smaller, to be honest, but it's worked quite well because I want it to be a really tight weave, because not only will it loosen over time with being hugged, which I will demonstrate when I talk about amigurumi in the video I'm filming after this, but you don't want the filling to come out, so the tighter the better. So I think I could have gone down to a 3, but it would have hurt my hands a lot more and she would have been a bit smaller. But I'm so happy with her. I just can't wait to finish her, and I can't wait to see Phoebe's face. She's getting harder to hide now she's bigger though. So that's my other almost finished object, but kind of into works in progress. Right, next work in progress. What shall I show you? Well, first of all, I just want to say that I've got a little bit of second mitten syndrome. I showed you last time that I had successfully made, although I haven't done the thumb yet, my Spooky Park mittens, which I was thrilled about. It was my first proper bit of colourwork knitting. And I loved making this. Looking at it now, I just get that feeling of how much I enjoyed it. And look, I even did beads. I'm like a proper knitter doing beads and colour work. And it's a pattern by Hannah, of Hannah from Sheep's Alley. And I love it. It's a Halloween pattern. But obviously we're coming into winter. I'm going to need these for when I'm scraping my car, scraping the ice off of my car. So I really need to get the other one done. So I might see if I can put a bit of effort into it next week, now that the amigurumi is out the way for Phoebe's birthday and so on. It'd be really nice to spend a bit of time knitting on these. I might give myself a day off next week. The girls are going back to school. And obviously I've still got working from home, but I won't have homeschooling. So maybe on Thursday next week I might give myself a day off. Just put a Christmas film on, sit down, do a bit of knitting. But yeah, I have got a bit of second mitten syndrome. I haven't even cast on the second one yet. There we go. That's in my Mrs S Creations bag, which I love. I've got a new pin on here. I'd rather be knitting. There you go, that was a gift in my advent swap with my friend Lily, which I'm really looking forward to opening come December 1st. I've got a couple of advents. So I've done a swap with my friend Lily, which we've done for the last few years. A swap with my friend Sarah, which we've also done for the last few years. So this feels like lovely traditions with lovely yarny friends. I just love it. And I've got another one as well, which was a gift, which I can't even talk about because it's just so precious. I will talk about it, obviously, because I'm going to be like, look what I've got. But I'll probably talk about that in my podcast next time. I wonder if I should do a Christmas special podcast, but it would just be the same, just probably me in a Christmas jumper. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I'm still on works in progress. Strictly Socks is my next one. I have made some progress. Ugh. Oh, a quick note actually. So I'm keeping my Strictly Socks in my bag from lovely Julie of So Unique. If you don't know Julie of So Unique, go and check out. I'll put the link to her shop underneath because she really is. She sells the most gorgeous bags, and her daughter helped me. Adele. I'll put the link to Adele, who is Adele's Art. I designed a Strictly badge, and I did it on like a free sketch thing on the iPad. But I know nothing about digital drawing. Adele does. So she took my design and she tweaked it to what I asked her to do and just nailed it. She just really got my design and made it exactly how I wanted it. So I've got 2 badges now, Strictly Socks badges. If you don't know, the Strictly Socks thing is the Strictly Sock Along, which I run. This is the 4th year I've run it, and it coincides with Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK, otherwise known as Dancing with the Stars everywhere else. It's on here in the UK this year, albeit very different, but still full of glitter and joy, and we just love it. We love watching it as a family. And I run a sock along to coincide with that. And basically cheating is the name of the game. Cheating is highly encouraged, and it's all very silly, very frivolous, very fun, and there's always tons of prizes which gorgeous, generous makers and just friends of this podcast donate, and I have the pleasure of giving away. It's a real community thing, and I love it. I look forward to it every year. So I made some little badges so that we can show off that we're doing our Strictly Socks. So they're both the same, but I've got one with a black background with yellow yarn and writing, and one with a white background with blue yarn and writing. I absolutely love these little badges. They're £1.50. I sell them in my shop, and they're the only thing I've got in stock at the moment because I ran out of my Little Drops of Wonderful pin, which is this one. I don't know why I'm showing you. You all know this by now. There it is, Little Drops of Wonderful. I've run out. I've got more on the way, but it's been delayed because of COVID. I feel like this episode should be called Because of COVID. It won't be called that. Actually, this is episode 69, and Dan said I should call this episode 69, dude. Be excellent to each other. Where was I again? What was I talking about? Strictly badges. Yeah, Strictly badges are in stock. I've got loads of those. Everything else is out of stock. I've even run out of the seconds, the ones that don't pass my quality control, and I sell for less. So keep your eyes peeled. I have more on the way, and I've even got another batch coming from a new supplier because I'm hoping to upgrade my supplier. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens. I've gone off on a tangent, haven't I? My Strictly Socks. I knit my socks concurrently on DPNs. I love knitting with DPNs. I started off, when I first learnt, I learnt to knit with short circulars, and I love those. As I sort of you know, got more used to it and started to explore different patterns and just got a bit better at knitting, or more experienced at knitting, I switched to Magic Loop, and I liked those, but then I thought I'm going to give the DPNs a go, even though they look terrifying. And I just found the rhythm of knitting with DPNs just really suited me. It just felt more... The best way I can describe it is the difference, for me anyway, between driving an automatic car and a manual. I drive a manual and it feels like I'm driving. If I was driving an automatic car, it doesn't feel like I'm driving. But when I'm driving a manual car, you know, with a gear stick, it feels like I'm involved in the driving, and that's the only way. I mean, that is the worst analogy ever, isn't it? Because obviously it's nothing like, you can't compare any form of knitting to an automatic car. I think I'm just going to leave that train of thought there because it's bizarre. Anyway, my point is I like knitting on DPNs, and oh look, I'm getting ready to knit. What am I doing? I'm not supposed to be knitting. I get both. I start my socks off. I do the rib on one sock, the rib on the next sock, the leg on one sock, the leg on the next sock. Then I did the heel turn and gusset decreases on one sock, and the heel turn and gusset decreases on the other sock. And now I'm back to my original stitch count on the foot on both of my Strictly socks. I wonder if I can put these on a blocker whilst they're on the... No, I probably can't, can I? I'll probably knock them off the DPNs. So I'm making the Lola Socks, which is a pattern by So Sweet Violet, and she donated, I think it was £3 from the sale of every pattern of the Lola Socks to Bill's Special Bus, which is a fundraising campaign run by my lovely friend Gaynor, who is Tales from Cuckoo Land here on YouTube. Her channel, the money that she makes from her videos all goes to her son's school. He goes to a very special school for children with special needs, of all differing kinds, and she's been trying to raise money to buy that school a minibus, which they desperately needed. So please do go over and check out her videos and keep up with the news on that. And Jules very kindly donated from the sale of all of the patterns to that fund, and I did donate some money from the sale of the first batch of Strictly badges that went out as well. So just, yeah, thank you for everyone that's bought a pattern for the cause. It's the official Strictly sock pattern for this year, and there's my attempt at it. It's a lovely simple lace pattern that runs all the way down the front, and actually in the pattern she shows you how to do a kind of graduated striping of the toe, which I'm not doing because I'm doing my socks for once in all one colour of yarn, and the yarn is third vault yarns in the Ray colour, and it's a bit of a luxurious one because it's got cashmere in it, and I absolutely love it. It's a pleasure to knit with. This is really, really beautiful yarn. I'm loving the pattern, loving the yarn, loving the whole combination, and loving it, loving it, loving it. And I'm really pleased. This is the first year, I think, that I've got to this stage of my Strictly socks this early on. Usually I'm at this stage around the end of January when the Strictly sock along is well and truly over. And my DPN holder, this one, is by Coco and Flora. Lovely Eva. And I know I've said this before, just want to share the love again for Eva. She has a lovely channel, Coco and Flora, here on YouTube. And she's just, if you want a bit of coziness, I don't know if she's doing Vlogmas this year, but if she is, you have to watch it. She just, oh, she knows how to convey an atmosphere. So those are my Strictly socks. One more work in progress to show you. I haven't shown you this in a while. Oh, there's another work in progress. I forgot I hid this in here. So I've got this little plastic bag full of Katia Amigurumi, which was a gift. A whole pack of it, and it's just the right size with a 2.5mm hook to make a free pattern I found. Now, if you play this game, you might recognise it. I need to get some grey yarn to do a little thing at the front. But does anyone know what this is? If I say, you're looking pretty sus, bro. It is. There's a little unfortunate lump at the front there, isn't there? It's constructed in a way I've never done before. I might fiddle about with the pattern a bit and modify. But it's actually a little Among Us crewmate. Or imposter, you don't know. It might be an imposter. If you don't know what Among Us is, it's a game that my kids are currently obsessed with. It's a bit like Cluedo. Online Cluedo. It's free. Download it, have a little play, see what you think. But yeah, my kids are obsessed, so I was thinking I was going to try and make a little rainbow of crewmates, Among Us crewmates. I don't know if I'll have time to do it by Phoebe's birthday, but I've got pink, all the different crewmates are always different colours. You can choose which colour you want to play, so I've got pink and yellow and blue and purple. Phoebe usually plays orange. I don't have orange, but I'm sure I've got some in my stash somewhere. So anyway, that's an aside. I wasn't actually meant to show you that. What I was going to show you was my granny stripe blanket. Now I started this with some minis that I had, and then I started to think that I'd quite like to make so a lot of what I do when it's scrappy, using lots of minis, is very eclectic. I don't mind what order the colours go in. I just choose the colour that I'm in the mood for, add that in. I don't really pay attention to whether those colours are gonna form a cohesive looking blanket at the end. I don't mind. I like the eclectic look. But with this one I picked a load of minis together and lined them up and tried to think about the order of them and how the colours might work together. It's still going to be very much in my kind of eclectic style, but it's going to be a bit more balanced. And that's what I'm doing now. This is going to be for Phoebe because she has requested a proper shaped blanket because she loves my Advent shawl, which is a triangular shawl that I made, crochet granny striped shawl. It's triangular and I made it over about 3 years with my yarns for my Advents. That's finished now and she loves it, but she wants a proper blanket. So this is where we are with it. It's quite wide. I probably made it a bit too wide, to be honest. It is wide. It's going to be big enough, I think, stretched out for a double bed. But that's fine. It's going to be a long-term project. And all of the yarns in here are very much, they're all speckled, and they're all or very highly sort of variegated tonal. That doesn't make sense, does it? And they're all sort of, there's a kind of colour palette of peaches, yellows, purples, pinks, soft greens and so on. I've tried to pick a palette of colours rather than just bunging anything in. And Phoebe's really excited about it. So that's where I am with that. And I've put in a few lines over the past couple of weeks. So I might put a little stitch marker in where I am now and see how far I can get between now and maybe the next podcast or the one after that. Yeah, so I thought I'd just flash that one at you. And then see how far I can get with it, really. So that is my final work in progress that I'm sharing with you today. I have many more, so many more. But if I showed you all of them, that would be a whole episode in itself. So let's move on to, I wanted to talk about that book, didn't I? The cutest amigurumi book. Let's talk about that. So this is from the lovely people at Meteor Books. Now they have sent me this book for free, and they have sent me books in the past for free and ones to give away to you guys as well. In return for me talking about it. I can say what I want. I can say I hate it. I don't, but if I did, I could say that. But it is given to me for free, and I have to let you know that. Full disclosure. Had it not been given to me for free, I would have bought it, because literally there isn't a pattern in here that I don't want to make. And when that yarn order that I've got arrives today, I've already got yarn in there to make something that Lilia, my eldest daughter, has chosen. And there's a list inside it that Phoebe has written of all the ones she wants me to make, because they've already been through it and just, they know what they want. It is called Mini Kingdom, Crochet 36 times, oh look, there's another, what? There's another list. Did she obviously ran out of space on this list and had to start a new page. She might as well have just written, I want you to make everything. Let's throw that down there for now. Mini Kingdom, Crochet 36 Tiny Amigurumi Royals. It's by Olga Novitska Aradiatois, which I've said wrong. There's her name. I'd say it's a pretty good effort of pronunciation, even if it is wrong. Look at the little characters on. This isn't even half of what is included in the book. It is just adorable. These are all of the patterns that are included. Look, I mean, how do people come up with such gorgeous little things? So I'll show you what, well, obviously I can't show you what Phoebe wants because it's everything. But Lilia was very clear about what she wanted. So let me just find it. Not that one. But what, I'll tell you, the one that really made me laugh in here though, there's one called Drummer Boy. I'll show you what he looks like. This is Drummer Boy. And I was thinking, if I made that with slightly darker hair, that's not Drummer Boy, that's Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. I might have to make that for Dan. Change the hair colour and you've got Ron Swanson. You could just swap the drum for a cup of coffee, couldn't you? But Lilia wants the Joker. See if I've got a nice, there's not a huge picture of the Joker here, which is this one. And this is the one I've actually ordered some more cotton yarn to make because I didn't have all of those colours. Particularly I didn't have the flesh colour or the brown hair colour. But that's the Joker there, isn't it cute? So that's what I'm going to be making for Lilia. But there's some good ones as well that look like you could work them up really quickly. There's a tiny little bee and a beehive as well. So let me show you the bee. So this is due out on the 1st of December. So by the time you see this, it'll only be a few days before this book is due out, and it's going to be available on Amazon. Look, that's the beehive. So easy and cute. I mean, you'd have to make the bee in order for it to be obvious that that's the beehive, I think. But fortunately, the bee's even smaller. Look, that's it in comparison. Stand up to show you. That's obviously the beekeeper there with his beard. So there's the beehive. Look at the little cute bee with their little wings. Oh, they are so adorable. I'm going to have to definitely make this. So lovely. And there's a whole section at the front where it tells you all the basic stitches, and it does this in all the Meteor books actually, well, all the ones I've got. There's a whole section where it gives you tips on how to make stitches, fastening off, bobble stitches, invisible fastening off, ladder stitches, sewing pieces together, and there's usually, is there? Yes, there's a little bio at the front about the designer. Ah, here we go. She's Olga Novitska, and she lives in Kiev in the Ukraine. And she started amigurumi designing back in 2013. God, it's only 7 years ago. Now she's got a book of these cute little things. Oh, and the sheep. I forgot to show you the sheep as well. Right, this is the last thing and I'll stop rabbiting on. Right, page 85 for the sheep. Obviously, because we're all lovers of yarn and things. Oh, sorry, it's a lamb. It's a lamb. Look at the lamb. Look. Oh, it's too cute. Look at his little bobbly fleece. I'm going to have to make that. Definitely. Love it. So that is the Mini Kingdom book by Meteor Books, out on the 1st of December. I love it, and I'm hopefully next time we'll have a completed or half completed Joker to show you from this book. So watch this space. And thank you, lovely Meteor Books, for sending me that. I am a big fan of their books, and when I filmed my amigurumi video after this, when I was making my notes, I realised a lot of the patterns that I've made come from Zumigurumi books. Meteor Books are the publishers of Zumigurumi. I'm not sure how many of those books there are now. Quite a lot though. There's definitely at least 9, I think. I think I need a cup of tea. I think I might put an order in for a cup of tea. Shall we use Alexa to order Dan about downstairs? Can you bring me a cup of rooibos tea, please, Dan? Thank you. Right, my tea order is placed, and I've plugged my camera in as well, and I've changed the settings. So if things are looking a bit different, that's why, and I won't know until the edit, and then I'll be able to work out what the best thing to do is for Vlogmas, for filming. Right, we're back on the original setting now. Have you noticed any difference, or is it just the same? I don't know. I've got a giveaway for you, and I'm a little bit excited about this because I've spoken before about Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. She was like the first knitting podcast that I ever discovered and watched, and I watched them obsessively for ages. I must have had more time back then. And I won a prize in her 8,000 subscriber giveaway, and I just remember I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I'd A, won a prize, and B, was going to get something from Mina. And she was in Bahrain at the time as well, so that was exciting to think, you know, looking forward to seeing what the stamps were like and so on. So I followed her for such a long time, probably pretty much since the beginning. And she contacted me because she has really, which honestly, it's just been amazing to watch her journey as a designer and how she's just developed into she started off just learning, and then she started designing and spinning, and everything that she's done, she's progressed, and she's released a book. It's an ebook, and I think it's going to be a print book as well, from what she was saying in her podcast. And it's a collection of it's 10 patterns. It's called Cows Inspired by Persia, and it's all colourwork cows which are inspired by Persian rugs. And there's a whole load of information in there about the history of Persian rugs and what they're about and the meaning of the patterns. And the cows themselves are kind of customizable. She tells you how to take the pattern and make them wider or longer, or a short cow or a long, wraparound cow. And it's an any gauge, what was it called? Any gauge collection. So you have detailed instructions to calculate meterage for your yarn and needle gauge, and all the info is there so that you can make a custom cow, and each design has a story, and it's like a full-on proper interesting book, and the designs are beautiful. And my favourites, I thought it'd be good to tell you what my favourites were when I'm doing the giveaway, but it was really hard to choose. But I really like the ram's horn pattern, which is funny because I'm an Aries, which is of course the ram, and I was really drawn to that pattern. And she shows how it works in different sort of combinations of colours as well, which is a really good thing. Take Flight was another one I really liked, and the Evil Eye pattern is beautiful. I know it doesn't sound like it would be because it's called Evil Eye, but it is a beautiful pattern. Anyway, she's given me a copy for myself, which I was just like falling off my chair. I was like saying to Dan, oh my god, Mina, the Knitting Expat, just sent me a copy of her new book, like hyperventilating. And then she said, if you would like, you can give a copy away to a viewer on your podcast. So I'm gonna share it. It's 10 patterns, a book, 10 patterns, an ebook. You're not getting a physical book, it's the ebook. But it's so beautiful. Go and take a look at it on her Ravelry. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. So I'm going to run the giveaway on Ravelry, because that is the easiest way to do it. If you can't use Ravelry, we'll do what we did last time. Email me your answer. Make sure you put in the title that it is for the Persian Cows giveaway, so I can pick that out quickly and easily. I get a lot of emails, and I need to make sure that I can spot them so that I can put you into the giveaway. And the prompt is going to be, can you remember the first crochet or knitting podcast or craft podcast that you ever watched? Because mine was Mina. Can you remember the first one that you ever discovered and watched? There were a few others around the time that I discovered as well. Sandra of Cherry Heart was one of them, and a few others. But can you remember the first podcast you ever watched? And let me know on the Ravelry thread. I'll put the link underneath the video so you can hop straight over there. And like I say, my email is underneath as well. Email me if you're not able to use Ravelry, and I'll put your answer in for you. That's what I did last time. It worked really well. So yeah, thank you, Mina, for sharing that with us. I'm really, really excited. Next section is going to be incoming. I'm going to keep this really brief, as this episode, I'm very painfully aware, is already just me rambling a lot, and there's so much else I've still got to talk about. And a lot of things I'm going to talk about in Vlogmas as well, because I've got things incoming that I'll talk about in Vlogmas. And I'll talk about Vlogmas at the end of the podcast. Oh my goodness, the talking, so much talking. I'm going to be uploading Vlogmas on my other channel this year, This Little Wonderful Life. It's going to be every 2 to 3 days. And that's about all I know at the moment. And then hopefully I'll know how to use my camera a bit better as well. That's it. So make sure you are subscribed to This Little Wonderful Life. It's our family channel. It means I can keep this channel absolutely dedicated to knitting and crochet and crafts, and with the other channel I can go off piece. Obviously there will still be a lot of knitting and crochet and crafts because that's my life, that's what I do, it's what I love, it's a huge part of my existence here on planet Earth. So it will still be all in there as usual, but it gives me a bit freer rein to talk about other things as well, and you know, just to keep it separate. So hopefully that will work. It feels a bit nerve-wracking moving away from the comfort of here, but I'll still be here filming podcasts and other films, like about amigurumi. Films, vlogs. I did want to mention a couple of things though. So a gorgeous lady called Ruth surprised us. Well, she contacted me to say that she had won a prize in a local raffle, and the prize was a load of K-pop stuff. She had no idea about it, wasn't her thing. Would the girls like it? She'd been watching the podcast and she knows they like BTS, Korean pop sensation. So she sent them to us, and the girls were thrilled. Now obviously I don't have any of those things to show you because the girls have got them in their rooms, and they were thrilled to little pieces with everything that arrived. Thank you so much, Ruth. Obviously I've already spoken to Ruth directly, but Ruth also sent a load of yarn for me, and I've just blown away. I just couldn't believe it, honestly. I've been through the yarn so many times, looking at it, planning it. I sent some to my sister actually, because one of the yarns, she sent me 2 sets of Bigfoot fibres, I've not heard of. Pumpkin Spice Latte mini skein set, that's the dyer. Bigfoot fibres, and it's the Pumpkin Spice mini skein set. And that is the colours there. Oh, and my sister loves autumn and hates summer as much as I do. So when I saw this, I thought, oh my goodness, Jenny would love that. And there were 2. So I sent her the other one, and we're actually going to have a little sisterly knit along around Christmas time. We're going to make some stripy mittens with our pumpkin spice latte yarn. So actually I better ball that up and get it ready. I hand ball all my yarn. I don't have a yarn winder. And I'm wondering now, I was watching someone, can't remember who it was, that was saying it's probably better to have it in a cake than it is in a ball. So I'm wondering if I should do that. I don't know which one to get though. If you've got one and you want to recommend one, let me know. Yeah, so that's one of the things she got, that Ruth sent. And then I also wanted to show you these ones. This isn't all the yarn she sent, but I just picked out some to share with you. This is an American yarn. Obviously I'm saying that, aren't I? But what if they're Canadian? I've done that before. Okay, it's American or Canadian, and the only reason I don't know is because I'm British. So, and I hear the names of some of the dyers, but obviously I don't know where they're from, but I know that it's not readily available here in the UK. They're called Leading Men Fibre Arts. And the colour, I've got 3 skeins. This is why I wanted to show you, because the possibilities for 3 skeins is quite a lot, isn't it? Knit or crochet. This yarn is so soft. Look at the colours. Oh, I tried to find it online to see how it would work up, but I couldn't find it on their Instagram. It's called Magic Carpet Ride, so it's obviously a reference to Aladdin, which is like my favourite Disney film. And it's on their show stealer base, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon. It is so soft, so soft. I need to think about what to make with it. So thank you so much, Ruth, for sending that gorgeous parcel of goodies. We really had fun opening it. The girls were thrilled to bits. We also did a little swap. Now, Lilia and I had arranged to do a swap with lovely Anna and Hannah in Croatia way back at the beginning of the year, because Hannah is the same age as Lilia, and they were doing a birthday swap. And of course, because of COVID, it didn't happen, but it happened in the last couple of weeks. So my parcel, I don't know if it's been received yet. I hope it has, Anna. I hope it arrives soon. I sent it, I think, the week before last, and hers arrived just before I sent mine. And it was amazing. One of the parcels that was in there we haven't opened. We've put it to one side because it was for Phoebe. It was all wrapped up, put it aside for Phoebe's birthday, but I can show you the one that Lilia got because I went and stole it from her bedroom. It hasn't left her side since it arrived. I know there is one girl whose mother will be watching this podcast possibly at some point, called Bryony. Okay, I'm looking at you, who's going to go mad when she sees this. So first of all, Anna is on Instagram. She doesn't sell patterns, she sells the finished things that she makes. She's Little Creative Sheep. Like I say, she's based in Croatia. There she is. And she is little_creative_sheep on Instagram. If you go and have a look at her feed, it's absolutely beautiful. Look at her little logo or knitting sheep. That's so cute. So she sent for Lilia. This is J-Hope from BTS. He is so perfect. He's dynamite, J-Hope, obviously, with his pastel clothes on. Look at the perfection of those stitches. It's so detailed. The little collar, his little hat. His hat comes off, his little bucket hat. And the hair. I mean, the hair must have taken hours upon hours to weave that all into the stitches and tie the little knots. It's... Oh, Anna, you're so clever. So I'm assuming the one in the other parcel might be Suga, because that is Phoebe's bias. That's what you say. You don't say your favourite, you say your bias. Don't you know? You'd only know if you're army. Lilia would be cringing if she could hear me talking right now. So thank you, Anna. This is precious, and Lilia has not let it out of her sight. The fact that I've got it, I feel very naughty because she has no idea. But she also sent a load of chocolate, which is always good. I love trying chocolate from other countries. That's pretty much gone now. And some hot chocolate, which we might have on Friday night. And she sent some pom-poms, which is one of the things she said originally when we were arranging the swap. It just twinged me back then. She makes pom-poms herself. She's got all her tags on it, Little Creative Sheep. Again, little tag there. And she made 4 pom-poms for us, because obviously there's 4 of us. So I've got 2 brown ones, looks like, and 2 white ones. I feel like I've got like pets. So those are they're faux fur. Brown. And oh, they're so cute. They're going to look amazing, aren't they? And they've all got a little button on, a little snap button. So you can put a little, let me see if I can take it off. There we go. So it's got the little male button on it, and then the little female button is what you sew onto the hat to snap it in place. Oh, they're going to be amazing. So thank you, Anna. Oh, that's fun to do. So soft. Yeah, delighted, but that was a lovely swap. Thank you very, very much. Where's my tea, eh? Do you think he didn't get the message? Or maybe he's ignoring me. Could do that parched with all this yabbering on. Guess what it's time for? It's time for the Strictly Sock Along! I've got prize winners to announce, as I said. The first lot of prizes have been sent out. I announced those in the last episode. There is one person that's not got in touch with me yet. So if you haven't watched the last episode and you had some finished objects in the finished objects thread on Ravelry, go back and watch, because you could be one of the winners. It's all parcelled up, it's ready to go, just need your name and address. So go back and watch that. I've got 2 more prize categories, a 10 from Len, which I draw when the first 10 is awarded on the Strictly shows here in the UK, and the Blackpool prize, which is awarded to people in the FO thread if you've got an FO in the finished object thread by the end of the Saturday of the Blackpool episode. Blackpool is a famous dancing venue here in the UK. It's the Blackpool Tower Ballroom. They go there every year. This is the first year they haven't gone, but they try to kind of recreate the Blackpool atmosphere. We're still enjoying our Saturday night dose of glitter. Obviously, they've had problems. Poor old Nicola and Katya had to drop out as Katya tested positive for COVID, so they couldn't continue. We've had another lockdown, so they can't have audience in with them, so they have to try and make a lot of noise themselves, the cast and crew. But they're battling on, and I do appreciate that so many people have sacrificed quite a lot to make it happen, and we're just really appreciative that we can sit down as a family on a Saturday night and have fun predicting the scores and enjoying the silliness. Anton's been a judge for the last couple of weeks, which has been really, really fun. He's such a funny person to listen to, and we've enjoyed him being a judge. Looking forward to Motzi coming back as well, obviously, because I really like Motzi. But yeah, Anton's done a good job filling in. And yeah, have I ever told you about our game that we play when we're watching Strictly that's called Rumba Bingo? I'll tell you in case you wish to play this yourself. So the rumba is the worst dance to watch. I'm sure you'll all, it's just a bit uncomfortable, especially when you've got like someone who's not very confident, or someone that's just not built for, like, what is it that Jennifer Lopez calls it in Shall We Dance? An upright expression of a horizontal desire. It can be uncomfortable, awkward. So we play the Rumba Bingo game. And what you have to do is, within the first 5 seconds of the rumba, you all have to shout out your prediction of how the rumba will end. And you can have an embrace, a walk away return embrace, and embrace then walk away, or something else. You know, something else that you feel like might be, you know, they all collapse on the floor, like, you know, oh. But you have to say it in the first 5 seconds, and then whoever's right gets a point. And you play that every time there's a rumba, and whoever's got the most points at the end of the series wins, except we always forget who's got the most points. So that's Rumba Bingo. Feel free to play. Fun for all the family. Okay, prizes. I'm now going to tell you as quickly as possible all the prizes that I drew this morning. So for the 14th of November show, there was a 10, the very first 10 of the series, and I drew one winner from the chatter thread from everyone, just from everyone, and I drew one winner from Instagram. And the way I drew the winner from Instagram is I showed Phoebe my phone, and she went through and chose a picture that she liked, and then we went in and checked that it had been posted before the 14th of November, and that was the winner. And that's how we did it this time. So it was completely random, but kind of based on a picture that Phoebe was drawn to. So the one from the chatter thread was number 597, who is Tree Source Limited. There is no name on your Ravelry account. You're very chatty, and I think it might be Elaine. Elaine, is it you? I really hope it is. Elaine leaves the most lovely supportive comments on all of my videos, and I'm pretty sure it is you. I hope it is. Get in touch. You have won the Red Heart bag from Suzanne of Inside Number 22, and a skein of Nora George yarn, which was donated to the podcast as a prize. Sorry, disappearing then. So this is the Nora George yarn. The colourway is Sunset at the Burrow. A Harry Potter themed yarn. Nora George. And the bag, whoops, is the heart themed bag, which I thought could be Christmassy, could be Valentine-y, or any time of year-y really. It's really, really beautifully made. It's got this beautiful detail here, and it's got a matching a DPN holder as well. So that is your prize, Elaine. If you could get in touch with your address and to let me know that it is indeed you. I'm assuming it is, and I will get that sent out to you. And the one from IG, that's what I've written, Instagram, that Phoebe chose was Jilly Makes. It was Jilly from Jilly Makes, which I was really, really pleased about as well, because the socks that she made, and you'll see, I'll try and put a picture up on the screen. I'll go and steal it from her Instagram. You'll see why Phoebe chose them. They are the Chanterelle socks by Little Bobbins, and they're frilly around the top. I mean, Phoebe just thought they were marvellous. I think I'm going to end up having to make those. And I wanted to make sure the Christmas things were all sent out well in time for Christmas. So, Jilly, your prize is the patchwork bag by Gorgeous Eva of Coco and Flora. I showed this last time, and it is on the prizes thread as well. The detail of this is astounding, and there's some stitch markers and things in there as well. And of course, all winners, I'll pop in a Strictly badge and a little note, maybe some chocolate as well. So Jilly, you've won. Well done. That was from the Instagram hashtag. And then for the Blackpool prizes on the 21st of November, I drew 2 from the finished objects thread. And the first winner was Anna in Hungary, and your username is Panushka. And you've made the Venice socks by FN Valberg, which were really, really lovely. And you have won the Giddy Knits yarn and a bag also from Suzanne. So the Giddy Knits yarn is from her Make Do Amend club. The colourway is Make Do Amend, and it was from her Nostalgia club, which was based on the 1940s. It's a DK weight yarn. So pretty. I love, love, love Helen's yarn, and you can see you've got some little stitch markers in there as well. And I put this along with this gorgeous bag from Suzanne of Inside Number 22. It's all beautifully quilted. It's absolutely huge. You could fit a lot in here. And then on the inside, it's got beautiful Alice in Wonderland fabric, which I just think is amazing. And again, it's got a matching DPN holder. So you have won those. Well done to Anna in Hungary. If you could get in touch with me either by email, all the winners, either by email or on Ravelry with your full name and address, and I can get those posted out to you. And then the final winner for Blackpool was number 217. It was Anne in Edinburgh. Lovely Edinburgh. My dad's from there, was from there. And that is Anne. And you have won the bag from Conchetta. I shall put it up on the screen at Butternut Handmade. Lovely Conchetta has donated a prize every year of the Strictly Sock Along, and her bags are so beautiful. So she's going to send that direct, so I don't have that here, and I'll contact. Once you've given me your name and address, I'll liaise with Conchetta and she'll get that sent to you up there in Edinburgh. So well done to all the winners, and thank you so much to everyone who continues to join in with the silliness and share your stories of cheating and use the Instagram hashtag. And just join in. I know that I'm not always the best at keeping up and commenting on things. It's just how my life is at the moment. I try to schedule time in to do it, but I can never fully catch up. I'm terrible. And I love the time I spend looking through the threads and through the Instagram hashtag. It's just, it just brings me so much happiness and lots of glittery, cheaty joy. I love how people can really get behind the idea of just breaking the rules. I think we all love it, don't we? Especially in a year where it's been about restrictions and following the rules and sticking to this and doing the right thing. With the Strictly Sock Along, you don't have to do that. You don't have to restrict yourself to 1 pair of socks per 2 meters. You can have 25 pairs per 2 meters for all I care. As long as you're cheating, it doesn't matter. Right, this tea never arrived. He can't have heard my announcement. Or he's on strike or something. I almost forgot that I had a couple of Strictly prizes come in as well to add to the prize pool. I knew these were coming. Well, I knew one of them was coming, but the other one was a surprise. So the ones that were surprise are some beautiful stitch markers, which I'll actually put with the prizes that I've announced that I'm sending. So there's 3 prizes I'm sending out, and I'm going to put these stitch markers with those prizes. And they're from Tessa and her sister at Pack Lane Wool. And this is their little sticker. Hang on. They're Pack Lane Wool. They're a local yarn shop based in is it Hertfordshire? Oh, in Basingstoke. Ooh. And they very kindly sent the most beautiful Strictly stitch markers, and I've never seen anything quite so Strictly in my life. Look at these. I don't know if they've got them available on their shop, which is packlanewool.co.uk, but it might be worth going to have a look, because look at these proper sparkly dancing shoes. Now they've said I can keep one and the rest will be to give away. So the girls are going to help me choose what colour I should keep, and the rest I will put back random. So I've got white, purple, pink and black. Oh, they're adorable. They are perfect for Strictly socks. Thank you, Tessa. They are lovely. I'll put those with the prizes down here now so I don't forget. And the other one that arrived was from Jen at Castleview Yarns. Jen, I'm sure I've met you at, I must have done, because I really recognise your label, which I think I must have seen you at a yarn fair. That's Castleview Yarns. there, and she sent 2 skeins, one for me and one to give away, but they're both so beautiful that I can't decide. One is called Best Day Ever and one is called California Dreaming, and they are, look at them, they are beautiful. The speckles, we all love the speckles. So what I'm going to do is, when I draw the winner for whoever wins these, a skein of this, I'll let the winner choose which one they want, and I'll leave it up to fate to decide which one I get. That'll be fun. And she's also popped in her card, and there's a little sealed bag here, which I'm not sure, am I supposed to open? I don't know if I am. Jen, am I supposed to open this? Because if I'm not, I don't want to ruin it. But I think there's stitch markers and things in there. But I'm assuming that's for the winner. And that's her card there, Castle View Yarns. So thank you very much, Jen. I shall take a picture of these and add them to the prizes thread on Ravelry as well. The next category, or the next section that we're going to talk about, I wasn't going to wave that again, I'm just putting it away, is books and stuff. So I wanted to talk about some of the books. Well, I wanted to talk about the book I've finished and the book I've started reading, and a few of the things that we've been watching lately as well. So first of all, we've been watching a new series of The Crown. It is so good. It is such a good programme. We've watched every series, and it is one series where you watch one and you're like, I just got to watch the next, I want to watch the next one, but it's always too late, because by the time we watch it, it's like 10 o'clock at night. By the time it's finished, it's just before 11. You can't watch another one at 11 o'clock at night, otherwise we'd never sleep. So we've been watching them, you know, and interspersing them a bit with the Bake Off final and all of that. But it's just so good. And what's her name that plays the Queen at the moment? Olivia Colman. Her name just went completely out of my head. So Claire Foy played the Queen in the first 2 series when she was like the younger Queen, and now it's Olivia Colman in kind of like the middle-aged years and sort of moving on to getting into her sort of late 50s, into her 60s. And then I think after that, as she gets older, it's going to be one of my favourite actresses. These women are all sort of up there in my top actresses that I really enjoy watching. They're all fantastic, but Imelda Staunton is going to be the older Queen, and she is just, oh, she's amazing. And it's just such a good series, and there are things that they cover, the stories. And I remember someone breaking into the Queen's bedroom. They've covered that story. I remember seeing Diana, and you know, I remember when Diana died. They haven't got to that bit yet. I remember all these things happening. Gillian Anderson is playing Margaret Thatcher. I forget that she isn't Margaret Thatcher. It is acting at its very best, because you just forget that you're watching actors. It's on Netflix. I'm assuming it's available everywhere, but I could be wrong. And it is fantastic. It's such, even if you don't know the stories of the royal family over the years, it's just a fascinating drama to watch. Absolutely fascinating. So we've really been enjoying that. We've been starting to watch some Christmas films. So we watched Jingle Jangle because we saw that pop up on Netflix, and we thought, oh, that looks like a nice little cheesy family film. And it was. And it was a musical. We didn't expect it to be a musical. I talked about this on the last vlog that I did, actually, over on This Little Wonderful Life. I've done 2 vlogs over there, 2 little collections of like 3 or 4 days. So I'll make sure you head over there. I'll try and link them underneath or on the screen if I can. And we watched it, and it was really good. It was so cheesy, and it was so Christmassy, and the story was lovely. The child actors were brilliant. And they interspersed it with like animations of like carved puppets, and yeah, it was lovely. We really enjoyed it. And who is it? It's Forrest Whitaker plays the main character in it. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I would recommend it. It's a really good cheesy Christmas film to watch with the kids. They'll enjoy it too. We've been watching Australian MasterChef, but all of a sudden we can't download any more episodes, and we don't know why. We've got a new Skybox which appears to baffle us a little bit, so we were happily watching it. We're down to like the final 4, like episode 58, and now we can't find it. It's like completely vanished. So we're like, what about the end of Australian MasterChef? We're nearly there. Where's it disappeared to? So we're going to have to Google why we can't find that, or call Sky and go, where is it? Right, reading. I have finished my easy on the Brain book, which was this one, which I'd got at a charity shop earlier this year, by Jo Thomas, Late Summer in the Vineyard. I wanted a really easy, no brain read between some sort of heavier books that I've read this year, and it didn't disappoint. It was really, really easy to read. It was really predictable, and it was set in France, so it was perfect. It was just what I needed, a palate cleanser, if you will. So that's going to go back to the charity shop, and I've already started my next book, which is Clan of the Cave Bear. So I'm this far into it so far. Not very far at all. It's quite a long book. It's probably going to take me quite a long time to read. I'm not the quickest reader. I only read at bedtime. So it depends how tired I am, how much reading I get done. But I'm loving it so far. It really kicked off really quickly and I was like, oh, this is really good. Slowed down a little bit now. They're just at the point where the Clan of the Cave Bear has found its new cave. And they've got Ayla with them. And yeah, that's about where we are. But I am very much drawn into it already, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the rest of it. I like the information about those times, and it does say that on the back that it is very well researched. I know a lot of the knowledge has probably moved on a bit now because this was written quite some time ago, but it's fascinating. I'm really enjoying it. So it was Kay of the Bakery Bears that talked about this, which is what made me buy it off eBay for a couple of quid. And then when I mentioned it on here, so many of you came back and said how much you'd loved this book. And I hadn't realised, I'd never heard of it, never. I hadn't realised what a well-loved and well-known book it was. And I mentioned it to my mum and she was like, oh yes, I remember those books. So she's now thinking of revisiting it too because she remembers reading it. I had no idea. So yeah, that's what I'm reading at the moment. And that is Books and Stuff. And I think it's time that I finish this podcast. I dread to think how long it is. And finally, everyone breathe out a sigh of relief. We've reached the end. What do I want to say? I've written a list of things that I want to make sure I tell you. Vlogmas, I know I've already mentioned it, is going to be on This Little Wonderful Life every 2 to 3 days, maybe every 3 to 4 days. It's going to be very relaxed, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to try a few new things, ways of filming and so on. Whether I'll actually do that, who knows, but I want to. Dan and I filmed our Q&A. We had a load of questions over for October, which we wrote down and we sat down together. My fringe is going weird. And we answered all the questions on camera. It felt really weird because obviously it's usually just me. It felt really weird to be doing it with Dan, but it was great. And we'll see how that comes out. I haven't even looked at the film yet, so I hope it's not awful. If it's awful, I'm not going to publish it, but if it's all right, I will. So keep an eye out on this channel for the Q&A coming out as well. A few different videos coming up. Thank you to everybody for your fingers crossed. I asked last time for everyone to keep your fingers crossed because Dan had a job interview. Dan was made redundant, my husband, at the end of July this year, having gone through an extraordinarily stressful redundancy process that went on for months and all the way through lockdown. It was almost unbearable at times. And then by the time he left, obviously we didn't really have time to recover from it before we he had to start job hunting and trying to get a job, and it's been 4 months, so it has been extraordinarily stressful. But I am very pleased to say that your crossed fingers worked, and Dan was offered a job on Tuesday this week. He's going to be, the job is exactly his kind of thing. It's exactly what he was doing at his old job. He's still going to be in the public sector, which he loves. He's going to be in housing this time, and it's more local to ours, although for the first 6 months he will be based at home because of COVID. And yeah, we could not be more happy or more relieved, and I just got a really good feeling about this. I do feel that now he's moved into housing. I worked in housing for years, and I think he's going to really love that sector. So we are delighted and relieved. I felt so sick on Tuesday. I think I just had this surge of adrenaline, I think, and that always makes me feel really sick. I had to lie down for about 2 hours. But yeah, I think it's just massive relief. So thank you It must have all been down to your fingers crossed. So thank you to everybody that did that. Thank you. Next podcast will be in 2 weeks. And it'll probably be the Christmas special, which, as I've said, will just be me wearing a sparkly jumper and talking about the same things as usual. And thank you for being here, basically. Thank you to all of you who are subscribed. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed recently or who have been here forever and, you know, just kind of institutionalised now. I appreciate it. I appreciate it more than I can put into words. And I'm going to stop rambling, and I will see you in a couple of weeks here on the podcast, but I'll see you sooner than that over on This Little Wonderful Life, because Vlogmas, yay! And actually, I'll see you sooner than in 2 weeks, won't I? Because I've got an amigurumi video and a Q&A video coming out, so make sure you're got your notification bells on and stuff, and press like, because then I'll pop up more in your recommendations. I assume. I'm making that up. I don't know. And thank you very much for being with me here today. I'm going to go and see where that cup of tea is. It never appeared, did it? I'm going to have to go and make it myself. I will see you soon. Bye.